Hi everyone, it is me, Sailor Uranus, Amara here, and today we're going to talk about, why, how we've always stayed or kept in good standing with ownership on YouTube, or double right, or owner right, or whatever you want to call it. Now, for some folks out there, you might wonder, how did we pull this off? How did we never get in a bind on YouTube with this? Well, the first thing would be is that everything we did in our YouTube fairway was our work. I mean, we didn't have anyone else's songs, or working with anyone else's shows or films or plays or film games or film song films or anything else out there. That is that they have ownership over. Now, today is going to talk about fair work, about how the belief of fair work, not if fair work works or not. Now, yes, the ownership law has been the same for years, and it's never going to shift. But there is a offshoot, I guess, called fair work. And the belief of fair work goes like this. If you take a film or a show or a play or a song or a film game or a song, film, or anything, any kind of work, and you shift it out, like, you talk about it, you scave it, you scave it, you slide it, you shame it in some way, you shift it out in some way. You're shifting out the work. You're making it where it's no longer the same kind of work it was. It's no longer the work that it started out being. Now it's some other kind of work. Now, as long as your work falls underneath that, either giving your thoughts or scathing or shaming in some way or whatever you do, then it would be seen as fair work. But here is the double-edged sword of fair work. Fair work is only seen as fair work as long as whoever owns it sees it and believes that it's fair work. And some folks do and some folks don't. Some businesses do and some businesses don't. And that's how we've also kept in good standing when it's come to ownership, is that we don't get into the whole fair work thing. That's how a lot of folks tend to get into that bind, is that they do work, they doing something that they know is fair work, they believe it's fair work, but someone else who owns it doesn't see it as fair work. So, and also another thing is that since we don't work with anyone's stuff out there, since you're not seeing any kind of things from a film or a show or a play, since we don't got any songs or a film game or a song film or anything like that in there, no one's going to come at us and say that we are taking their work without asking, or we're not onlooking their ownership of their work. And since we're not a YouTube mate and we're not making any gald from the work, no one is going to ownership strike it on that ground either. Now, I know someone out there might say, "Oh, well, Sarah Uranus, isn't dolls fair work? Aren't dolls under ownership?" Well, yes and no. Dolls are owned by whoever bought them. Yes, they were first owned by whatever business that had the right to make them. And they were owned by the shop that had the right to sell them. But once you bought them from the shop, that was it. They were yours to either gather, play with, do whatever you wanted to do with. And they were no longer owned by whoever made them. They were no longer owned by whoever sold them. So no, dolls are owned by anyone, so the ownership goes to whoever bought the doll, and not who made the doll, and not who sold the doll. So, yeah. So no one's gonna say that. No one's gonna say that it was fair work that let me put dolls on YouTube, because it was not. Now, that's and the grounds to why I'd be frightened of fair work is that there is no shielding. Either your work meets fair work or it doesn't meet fair work, you know. And a lot of folks out there who do fair work on other folks' works are always in a bind when they believe that they'd done enough to make their work make that fair work a new kind of work. You know, and some of them might be mates, so they might be making some kind of geld from it, and some might not. But at the end of the day, a lot of folks out there think that they wouldn't be getting any kind of bind, either by the YouTube website itself, or by someone coming on who worked for the business or whatever, and then striking it as ownership. Now, some of you folks out there might say, oh, well, didn't you do stuff back in the day that would be seen as fair work? Yeah. Back in the day, from Sailor Moon Red 1, and Sailor Moon's Best One, we used to take likenesses that we got off of either Google, Yahoo, or Bing Seek, and then we would either talk over them. So, yeah. I mean, there was a Dirt Sheet with Alan and Ann. There was the Wisdom Man with Hill or Tomo. Yes, so yeah, those things were fair work. And luckily, Toby always saw that as fair work. But we could have not had that good luck. But we stopped doing that a long, long time ago. Even when we still had the tools to do it. And we just stopped doing that. Why? Because we knew sooner or later someone was going to come on and solve ownership. So, yeah, that's how we've been in good standing with ownership for years on YouTube, because we don't have anyone else's work in our work. Go back to all of our films going back to May 8 between 23rd between YL, and you will not see any kind of work that someone else could say was their work. You know? And I'm talking about the true owners of works out here. That's what I'm talking about. You know? You're not going to do that. So, anyway, if you like this film, then follow us over here at Sailor Moon for Life. Or watch the last film he made yesterday over here, when Sailor Pluto talked about, what did she talk about? Oh, I forget. But it was a good film. You know, I'm Sarah Uranus, Amara. I hope you like this film. Bye.